2022. Yani alibant the minute we wacha Timo. Actress Sue anasema hii alibant kitambo. Hey, guys, it's just 2.5 years. We are 2.5 years in, yeah? Some grace maybe? No? Okay. Trevor Kimutai anasema government is not delivering, but rather destroying our lovely country, Kenya. KK is now planning new ways of killing ODM fast, and Kenyans have been left aside. Killing. Is that a strong word, sir? I don't know. Obed or Samuel anasema, everything goes to south in a band. Hey. Opama Savior anasema, kudeliver nini? Hata nashanga tunaongelelea nini exactly. Calvin anasema, ilibant siku ya swearing in. Guys, some grace, no? Honest Star KE, kwani kuna gava? Who is ruling us? Who is the president? Who is President Ruto? If hakuna gava, I don't know. Emmanuel Kosgei anasema he's from Bomet. Gava ina bant vibaya sana. Just take a look. Greetings. Following the lapse of the 7-day notice, proceeding to your message. Last time we were talking about help. Linda, leo tunauliza watu hapa with their Kutenga chorus. While our kids are really suffering in schools now, Mr. President continues donating millions to churches every Sunday. Shame on you, Mr. President. Nimjalua Bungoma watching from Konambaya, Bungoma. Kids, you're saying kids are suffering in school. See, wamepatiwa like 1 million chapais in school, guys. Like some grace. Kagina, I want to hear from your panelists. Anasemaje story?
Unajua gratitude ni kitu ya muhimu sana.
Mtu
kupea chapo 1 million afu unauliza
kana. Sema thanks.
Tukue serious. Well, on this end of the panel, I'm joined by interesting guests. So we have James Mulamba. Yeye ni activist, Gen Z activist. Atatuambia ana activate nini? What is he activating? What? Pushing for na ni nini anakataa. Atatuambia saizi. And we also have Sophie Nje here, upcoming leader. She says atatuambia ana upcome kwa nini. But starting from James. Gava ina deliver ama imeband?
Ilisha band.
Wapi?
This guy was not even supposed to be president.
Like twende hapo kwa jua ashakuwa twende hapo kwa kuban. Ameband wapi?
So you see, personally, I'm not surprised by the performance of William Ruto. He's lived up to my expectations because I did not expect anything good coming from him. When he was the deputy president, he made it his business to lie to Kenyans all through. For the 10 years he was the deputy president. In the first term, he lied about the stadia, he lied about the laptops, he lied about the major roads they were going to construct, the dams. Mnakumbuka Aror and Kimwarer, pesa ikapotea, katupea story. It's all through. In the second term, he lied about how he and the current president, or the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, were not seeing eye to eye on how he's better than the president, he could lead better, and how the former president was misruling Kenya, and if given a chance, he would do better. So he's been lying all through, and I saw that from the onset because I knew that William Ruto is a politician, probably the best we have today. See, a politician is not a leader. The business of a politician is to sell hope and to lie, and to convince you with lies and litany under litany of promises that they will deliver, but they won't. In fact, the average pizza boy delivers more than the president.
Well, we're just but starting, Mulamba. Sophie, ameband ama ana deliver?
Of course ameband, that is a no-brainer. But first of all, my name is Sophie Nje. I'm an aspiring MCA for Thika Township Ward, and I'm also a strong member of the J25 movement that is in the business of organizing the youth for us to take political power. When the current president was campaigning, he had an issue-based manifesto. And top 3 of his manifesto in a nutshell was he will defend the Constitution. Has he defended the Constitution? No. In fact, he said he would obey all court orders. Has he obeyed the orders? No. Has he been killing us? Is there state capture? Yes. That is a total defiance of the Constitution. He also said that he would institutionalize politics. He said that there would be accountability, there would be justice, there would be prosperity. To say the least, are we prosperous as Kenyans today? Absolutely no. And the third thing he said, bottom up hustler. Hustler atainuka, target market, mama mboga, mtu wa boda boda. And I want to ask today, has there any person who had a boda boda in 2021 who has bought a new boda boda today? No. So he gava imeband serious. And I need to say that they were elected on the basis of their promises. They promised us a better life. But today life is even worse. If you just go out here and see the drainage systems of Nairobi, nothing is working. It's a no-brainer. It's not rocket science. So sisi kama my youth being here, we're doing the right thing because the opposition has decided to join the government. Then today, us the Gen Zs, we will be the opposition and we will be the eternal vigilantes to this government. We will not stop and we're not going anywhere.
But let me ask Sophie, wamebant on a number of things that you've mentioned.
Yes.
Probably, ni nini ulikuwa umesikia kwa manifesto, hata kama huku una support the Kenya Kwanza government, the idea looked like it would work for you. Yenye
absolutely nothing. Because like my colleague has said, Ruto has been a liar from back in the days. If you have been a consistent student of Kenyan politics, you will understand that in 1997, our current president took a loan with a title deed for a road in Nairobi. He's been a liar since the get-go, so I didn't believe anything. But there is one that almost caught me.
which is
The one for diapers for mothers for 3 months. Hey, at that time, I was pregnant. So I was like, if this guy wins, I'll have free diapers for 3 months.
shock on you.
Shock on me.
Well, Mudamba, before we head over to listen to the rest of the panel, just like Stacey has mentioned, is there something that really stood out for you among the very many things that were not kept, but one thing that really caught your attention that you hoped would really work?
Well, when I was naive to believe that the hustler name means, say, the poor people who are trying to make a living, because the true meaning of the hustler, if I could read it quite quick, the hustler means someone who tries to get to business, who tries to make money through unscrupulous means, someone who has no principles, a person who is adept and aggressive at selling illicit deals. In fact, the other word for the hustler is a prostitute. So I was enchanted by the hustler shenanigans back then. That's when the president mentioned the hustler fund. So back then I thought the president is referring to us as the proletariat, the poor people who are trying to make a living in this country, and is now bringing a good fund to fund the young people, the women groups, and so on and so on and so on. But when it hit me that this word does not mean what he's trying to project, I knew nothing will come.
Just to take you back to the fund, we've had the establishment of what we now refer to as hustler fund.
See, the president promised an interest-free fund, a loan that has no interest. So if you borrow 200 shillings today, you're supposed to reimburse 200 shillings to that fund. That does not happen today. The hustler fund has an interest rate of 8%. So generally, from the word go, hiyo ilikuwa isha banned.
All right. Linda, we are coming to you, but allow me to take you back on a fact that you've mentioned earlier, on an allegation that you made earlier in regards to a title deed that was taken for a road. We should be having a case in court.
Well, are
If
you a
it-
Kenyan citizen?
So you cannot substantiate the allegation.
Well, is
I
that...
can defend her on this because Mwai Kibaki revoked that title deed. It is on record.
And the loan is with the National Bank.
All right, let me take this conversation to Linda's side of the panel. Linda, upande huo wanasemaje? Zile vitu tulitenga, are they feeling the impact? Are they enjoying the benefits?
Hiyo side unajua mnasema tu ni kubans. I don't know whether my side, perhaps everything is all rosy and glittery like Miss K mentioned earlier on. But now allow me to engage some of my panelists right here. Let me begin with you. Kindly introduce yourself and tell me what aspects of the manifesto really stood out for you and you had so much faith in it and you feel like it has not been achieved yet.
Okay, so my name is Owen Apollo and I'm a student. For me, the manifesto was, I felt from the beginning, the time he launched it, I felt like it was too ambitious. You know, when you feel, you could almost feel that it was too ambitious. The only guy who almost beat him was Wajakoya at the time. Because of Wajakoya, it was a bit extra ambitious. But for Ruto, you could tell that it was a bit too ambitious. And it was actually sensationalizing the youth and especially the mamambogas, you know.
Is there something that really stood out like, hey,
for me, the thing that stood out was there was a lot of promises of how he would allocate funds for people, you know, and you can see that over time, somehow goes into thin air. There's nothing. Like kila saa nasema tu ametenga. And the only thing we are seeing ametenga is his deputy president.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Kwake ametenga. Allow me to speak to one of the ladies that we have here. Kindly introduce yourself and also what are your concerns, especially when it comes to manifesto? Wo unaona wameband ama wo unaona they're on the right path?
Yes, Luciana Jenga. I'm a youth leader. One, nitasema government deliver. The other one me band. Kenya government deliver. Actually, we are supposed to give this government a certificate and award for delivering lies and fake promises. When they deliver those things kwa doorstep, so we are supposed to kuwapea certificate and award.
Promise gani wewe unaona ijakuwa fulfilled?
Okay, one of the promises walisema watatupea opportunities in the positions of the leaders, our ministers, prime ministers, not prime ministers, the CSs watapea watu wa young. Wale watu walikuwa nominated juzi, mpaka nilienda nikaangalia hizo numbers, I was like, ama hizi numbers ziko inverted, like unaona 62, which means basi in 26, ni sasa tuoni vizuri. Unaona, so I was like, hawa ni my youth, ama ni hiyo tuelewi. And then you wonder, mbona wana recycle? Why do you have to recycle someone whereas we have other people huku nje, watu young energetic, wanaweza fanya hizo vitu? Another thing, the government imeban. Wanatuambia twende tukatafute job abroad. Yani, it's like my mom telling me, anatafuta neighbor mwenye amepika the so-called chapo. Anatafuta neighbor mwenye amepika chapo nikakule huko.
Badala ya kufunze kupika chapo.
Yes, imagine. Ama badala mwenyewe inge jikoni apike chapo. Nikule. Why you sending me kwa neighbor? Why is this government not creating those opportunities huko nje? That is my I'm a band.
Okay, thank you. One more before we give Miss K to speak as well. Kindly introduce yourself. Wewe unaona wameband ama wako tu sawa, and which area really stood out for you?
Cecil John Monene is my name. Kenyan citizen by birth. So I feel the pain. Gava kitu imedeliver kubwa, labda zile makofi walipiga salasi ya Sunday. Sio ni kitu kingine ya maana.
Kwa manifesto, when you talk about the manifesto, during the campaigns, uliona ni nini ulikuwa unatarajia sana? Ulimvotia?
Mimi sikupiga kura, nilikuwa na hesabu. But unajua ina haja nikuje nikwambie kitu nikijua ni uongo. Wewe pia wewe ukae hapo ukifurahia, alafu bado mpaka sasa hivi uko bado unafurahia. So mi point yangu ni wala watu bado mnasema kasongo bado ati miaka zingine 10 bila break. Manzi stop fucking.
But unajua hujasema nini kwa manifesto?
Kwa manifesto. Jobs, obviously. Ali promise watu jobs. Sahi jobless kwa base zote za jaba. Watu my youths too.
Okay.
It makes sense.
Thank you so much. Miss K on the other side, what are people saying?
Na
Niko
nimesikia we-
bands tu hapa.
nakwambia
bands
we have our own Miss El Chapo in the building na amepatia a very nice analogy ya kwenda kwenda kwa neighbor kuchukua chapo instead ya kufunza na kupika chapo home. I want to hear from Mugambi here, my G. Wewe umesema wewe you will stick to working in Kenya as a msanii.
Maze.
Wewe uendi nje kutafuta job. So as a msanii, have you benefited from the government's manifesto? Jo alikuwa amesema watatenga some kapesa for you guys to empower you in the creative industry.
Yeah, Mugambi Kere is my name. Performing artist through and through. So the thing with hii gavani inawakingi and inakosa kuwaka at the same time.
Kuuma kupuliza.
Bana nika unauma alafu unatema alafu unaenda unatafuta tena unauma tena unatema, because for some of us it works. I'll say, for example, the time that Ababu was CS for our sector, the orange economy nini, tulikuwa tunasikia the whole story ya Talanta Hela. Through Talanta Hela, people actually got paid for performing for government. We made a song for the youth, a youth song, national youth song at some point, with the tulikuwa na National Youth Council. Got paid. It was an actual competition, and then eventually you got to perform a song. Nini got paid. Sawa, makes sense. Ilikuwa a very small fraction of people. We were like, how many youth from around Kenya? Like 6. It made sense at the time. 6, 8. Now, nilikaa chini nikasoma. Eventually afterwards, nikasoma manifesto. There's a point where they're saying, especially because I work in theater, film, all these spaces, and music. There's a point where he said that mainstream, all these cultural institutions like theaters and other than the public, other than private institutions that offer theater and film, unajua gani ingine apart from Kenya National Theatre, Kenya Cultural Center?
But
Think about that.
Did they revamp the Kenya National Theatre for you guys?
You revamp it was revamped kinda, because at the end of the day msanii akiingia and you have experienced that space once, ukikaa tena ukuje ukae usikize uko like I don't really see
Feel
that
the
much there's not much change difference. Ukitoka hapo ukiangalia the financial commitment at some point while reading through this whole document, 66-page document that had like 10% ama hata 30% of it as photos, unapata jamaa kuna point imeandikwa financial commitment, especially for the orange economy hapo kwa creatives. Imeandikwa the financial commitment is as proposed for sports. So Mugambi, mimi mwenye ana act nafaa kufikiria kama msee anaruka viunzi na maji. Acheni kutubeba ufala msee, because you didn't even think about, let me write, propose, get people who are actually professionals in this atuambie, okay, a financial plan yenye involve artists of this and this caliber ni hivi na hivi na hivi. Unasema tu chukua ya msee anachukua sports anapiganga ball, uwekanishe na msee mwenye ni msanii anakuanga na.
So you feel like your industry is still looked down upon?
Definitely, but also sitakasirika because I thought it's only us until una realize hadi health kitu yenye ni a basic right, a basic thing, a fundamental human thing kama health inalukiwa down upon. Haifanyi. So mi nikienda kuongea about anything to do with theater and film, mtu ananiangalia like ni mbaya na ubo.
I mean, I'm sick. You
Kwani,
just don't wear act.
Kwani priorities zako ziko wapi? Siwe uact. Ulisema watakuact, we act. Acha ujinga. Haifanyi wewe unaniambia juu ya kuact.
Right.
And ukisikia and the thing about EPA ni wanachukua so many different things, mnaziakanisha pamoja. Unachukua culture, youth, all these creative people, mnashikanisha nyote, alafu mnaambia CS wenu ni Murkomen. Mi mwenyewe sijai ataona kwa hizi events. Afadhali Ababu, we used to know him. We used to see him. We used to interact. It made sense. Mi tangu jamaa ekwe post maandamano, mi nakonga like,
so kwako wamebant.
Ase amebant tu vibaya sana.
Okay, Mugambi. Let me hear from this guy next to me. Yes? Right.
Wewe kama content creator.
Wow.
I'd love to know. I'm curious.
Mimi kama Mr.
Umesaidika. Content digital space.
Wacha nikwambie, the answer is no. I look for my own job. I am still taxed somehow, but I'm still surviving. I'm on TV, guys. Mama, we made it. Mama, we made it. Ian, I want to hear from you. Umetoka Narok to come and answer the question. Gava ina deliver ama ina band?
Hii gava ilibant, imebant na itabant tena. Hata ikipatiwa chance ya pili itabant.
Kuni unataka kuwapatia chance ingine? It seems.
Maybe in a dream na nikaa nimekufa.
Yeah, okay.
Si kama siko hai. So hii gava unajua kitu moja mimi nilikuwa nafikiria kila time sa campaign ilikuwa ni nimetenga. And you know figures don't lie. But I come to think about it and I was like, but liars figure out.
Wow.
You know?
Buzz.
You know, and I was like, I wanted to see something with futuristic thing about Gen Zs, you know, the use about realistic direction of where we are going. But let me tell you the truth, mi sijiona hichi kama hii. Like wengi sisi ni wa Kenya lakini sometimes I don't feel proud being a Kenyan.
Why? What is that one thing imekukera sana?
Wizi manze. Kila mtu ni mwizi nchi. Because the devolution ileta corruption to the ground.
Right.
Yani sports kwanza Minister of Sports kwenye Mugambi analia. That's a joke. Hiyo sports hiyo docket ifai kuwa na joka. Mwenye ameko sahi anakamu
Right, Ian. Ian from Narok. Let me just hear from our guy here. Hello. Nilikutana na wewe kwa elevator nikakwambia I like your haircut. Very nice. Very ready for Tuesday, very ready for the TV studio. Love it for you. Now, tell us, Gava, according to you, imebant ama ina deliver?
I'll just describe the government using 2 words.
Go on.
Loquacious and asinine.
Naomba tu utueleze kinaga ubaga.
So, in short, what I'm trying to say is they're very talkative and foolish at the same time. Because
please, inua kidogo mic.
Oh.
Right, thank you.
The thing is, when you look at the access to government procurement opportunities, whereby the youths, marginalized groups, and people with disabilities have to have to get 30% of all government tenders for their businesses. But most of these people are always, what's it called? They have to be exploited, or you need to give a fee to some of these people in the county government so that you can actually have those tenders to carry out your
So you have to
your
know
business.
someone to know.
Yeah, you actually have to know someone. Or it's not knowing, you have to actually pay somebody so that they can actually give you something that is your constitutional right. So for me, I think it's very foolish for the government to be doing these things, because we don't need to tolerate corruption in our economy, because it hurts the citizens.
Right.
Yeah.
Linda, it seems pia side ni kama watu wanasema that we are watu wanaband. Ni kama that's is that the conclusion?
Wameband.
Let's see. We're gonna hear this more after the break.
Step up with DSTV and we'll show up by giving you more incredible entertainment.
It's game time.
Upgrade your subscription between the 13th of January and the 31st of March and get an even higher package for a whole month on us.
I nominate myself.
If you're on Access, step up to Family and we'll step you up to Compact. Hakuna kitu feel better than putting a little bit in but getting a lot out. Step up and we'll step you up. Dial *423# or download My DSTV